There's a performance that will happen on that. We have some guides that are going to take us around and show us the great sights in Nashville. 5:45 is we'll be eating at the Grand Ole Opry. Of course, dinner is provided. Then we attend the Grand Ole Opry. If you get on the website, that night Patty Loveless is going to be there, Diamond Rio, and then an up-and-coming country artist, Ray Lynn. If you know who Ray Lynn, what was her popular song?
God Made Girls.
God Made Girls. Yeah, it'll be great. If you've not been to the Grand Ole Opry or a show like that, it doesn't matter whether you like country music or not, it's a heck of a show and you're going to have a blast. 9 o'clock approximately, we'll load the buses and check into the hotel. So you'll notice that we've been on the bus since Friday night and we don't check into the hotel until 9 o'clock, right after the Grand Ole Opry. Okay, so you're going to have to be flexible. You probably will be tired, but that's okay. Curfew, 10:30, that's in your rooms. You can't come out. And then 11 o'clock, turn the lights off and go to bed. Okay? If you want to stay up and chat after lights out, I don't care. But the lights have to be actually turned off. And please, ladies and gentlemen, you must not open your hotel room door until the next morning. At the time, if you look at Sunday, whatever the wake-up call is, your door must not open for any reason, unless an adult, one of the chaperones on our trip, comes and knocks on your door and asks you to open it. Okay? No exceptions. And I'm going to repeat that one more time. Once the lights are out and you're in your room, you must not and you will not open your hotel room door for anything unless one of the adults comes and knocks on your door and asks you to open it. It's for your own safety, and it's also so we know that you've stayed in your room. Okay? That's very important. If someone knocks on your door and what's in there, it's not associated with the school, you have our numbers, call us, and we'll come and see what's going on. Please, do not open your hotel room door for any reason. Okay? Sunday, wake-up calls at 6 o'clock. You'll see the dress for the day as we attend church is dress clothes. No jeans, ladies and gentlemen. No jeans, and boys must wear a tie. I would probably wear something like this because I'm not going to bring my suit, but this is gentlemen, this is what I expect. A collared shirt, a tie, because we're going to be representing our school, but we're also attending a worship service to provide some music for them. So that's your attire for the beginning of the day. There will be time to change. And then for the symphony, when we attend the Vienna Boys Choir, we'll also be dressed up. And guys, you don't have to wear a tie. You can take your tie off. That's perfectly fine. But we want to represent our school well, and we're going to the symphony. It's going to be kind of cool. Breakfast is required again at 7:30. 8:30 we'll depart for First Lutheran Church, which is downtown. The band, the choir, and the orchestra will all be performing at church that day. And so we'll get an opportunity to run through some things. It's a gorgeous church downtown in the heart of Nashville. Big stone cathedral type place. It's fantastic. The website's in the front of your book. We're still working on lunch. That's the only meal that we don't have figured out yet. Okay? And I put a TBD. That may be one that's on you, and we just haven't figured it out yet. I know in the trip contract we said you'd have to provide one lunch. This may be the one, but hopefully not. So fingers crossed. So just be aware of that. After church is over, we have lunch. 3 things we have to do to fill the afternoon. We're going to tour the Ryman Auditorium. The church is about 2.5 blocks from the Ryman Auditorium. So we'll walk over there, take a tour of that, and then the rest of the afternoon will be spent at the mall. And students will be given some cash, and dinner will be on your own at the mall. Okay, so you'll get some cash for that, and you choose to spend it how you want. I know when I was in the K-State band, we went on bowl trips, and they gave us $150 per diem. I spent about all my meals at McDonald's for like $15, and I went shopping. So I'm not saying do that. I'm just saying eat what you want, but you get some cash. If you choose to eat all hot dogs, that's on you. Hot dogs and pretzels, cool. But you'll get some cash for that. 7 o'clock is the Vienna Boys Choir at the Symphony Hall. Load buses back to the hotel. Curfew at 10:30. Lights out at 11. Next day, Monday, we travel to Memphis. Music department shirt that day. Wake-up call at 6. Breakfast is required. Depart from Memphis. Lunch at the Chrome Grill. It's provided. It's going to be good. And tour Graceland. And then at 3 o'clock, we have to split it into some groups. We talked about this earlier, a couple weeks ago. Only a certain number of students are able to tour the Gibson Guitar Factory because of the number of sponsor-to-student ratio they require. So folks are touring the Gibson Guitar Factory, which takes like 45 minutes. The rest of us will be walking around Beale Street checking that out. And then those folks will meet up with us. And so we get time to do that. And then dinner that night is, of course, provided and is at the Hard Rock Cafe. We go back, and this is where you get a lot of extra time to do some swimming at the hotel. And then curfew, and then lights out. And then our final day, school casual for your dress. Wake up at 7, you get to sleep in. Breakfast is required. We'll check out of the hotel, load buses, and depart Memphis. And we can eat at the Western Sizzlin' on the way home in Russellville, Arkansas. I have no idea where that's at, but Western Sizzlin' and Arkansas seem like they go together well, so it should be fun. Thanks for the laugh back there. Whoever you are, I really, really like you. 7 o'clock, we make it to Wichita. They have a stop on 47th Street somewhere. The students will get cash. There's, I think, the Taco Bell. There's a Chick-fil-A, and there's several different places students will be able to go eat their dinner. You'll be on your own. Then we get back to Smoky Valley High School at 9:30. So aside from that one lunch on Sunday, every other meal is taken care of. Students will either eat as a group or they'll be given cash to go find their meal at whatever location we stop at. So all except for that one lunch, and we're working real hard to get that one lunch taken care of as well. The next few pages have your rooming list and then identify who the room captains are, male and female, then bus 1, and then bus 2 also denotes the loading crew and the bus captains. And I think that covers everything. Do you have, I'm sure there are questions. Do you have any we can answer? Pressing questions. Yes?
You can put a bag on the back. But
yeah.
What about pillows or anything for the first night, stuff like that?
You can, I bring a pillow and I bring a little blanket. I generally instruct the bus drivers to keep the bus cool rather than hot. So the last time I was on a bus, I think he kept it like at 65 or something. And that tries to accommodate everybody. With 40 to 45 people on a bus, it can get hot. So blankets and pillows are great. Yep?
Does the hotel wash clothes or provide laundry?
I don't know. The websites for the hotel are listed in the package. You can go check them out. Usually most hotels offer coin-operated laundry. So that if you have to do some laundry, you can do that. Yes?
They're not expected to be bringing the tuxedo outfits?
Correct.
No.
They do not need formal concert attire.
Okay.
Yep.
This is Brett.
Yeah, do you have an idea of which students are in which hotel? Do you have them listed here, but they're not, like, you said at 2 different hotels, which students are in which hotel?
Oh, for the first few nights, the first hotel is in Memphis, or in Nashville.
So they're all together?
Yeah, we're all together. Yeah, we're all together.
Oh, okay.
And then the last night of the trip, we traveled to Memphis. That's when we all stay in a separate hotel.
Okay.
Yep. Yep, we're all together.
How much, when you say given cash, I don't remember, how much are they allowed, or do we give them extra money?
Like spending, I would bring some spending money. It's hard to say. You know, most of the money they will need will be for souvenirs and for $1 to $2 to tip the bus driver at the very end. Those of you who've had other children go on the trip, how much money have you given them? I'm not sure. I mean, you could send $50. There's opportunities to buy souvenirs. You know, Country Music Hall of Fame, Graceland, time at the mall. So it's really your own personal preference. But right now, all of their meals, including breakfast, are paid for and taken care of.
Well, you just said we'll hand them some cash, and I didn't know. I couldn't remember how much.
For their lunches and dinners.
Like for a meal, like
Yeah,
maybe $10
so,
per kid.
Yeah, so like when they go to the Opera Mills Mall and we have dinner at the mall, I think the tour company has estimated each child gets $20 for their meal. I think that's what it is. But I will give them cash for their meal. If we don't eat together as one large group, I hand them $20 or $10 or whatever the tour company has allowed for that meal for them to eat. So any other cash they would need would just be for souvenirs and incidental expenses. Yeah. Other questions? No questions? It promises to be a heck of a trip, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm doing a lot of praying that the weather holds out, and I'm sure it will. It'll be fun. On the way back from Chicago, the very first time we started these trips, we barely made it across the river before it flooded on the last night. So if it snows, I hope it's on the way back, and after we've already passed that way. If you don't have any questions before you leave tonight, if you want to come up and check seriously whether you've turned in a t-shirt size, students, or if you want to see if your child's turned in a t-shirt size, I have to place, there is no exception. I am placing that order tomorrow. And I know I kind of make light of it, but I'm placing the t-shirt order tomorrow, and that's the latest that our church can hold that for me and still get that order done by the time we leave on Friday. So if you want to come up and check, I'll put that in the computer. If you want to check on whether you still owe some cash, some money for the trip, and like I said, 18 students who still have to turn in medical forms. We just need all of that squared away. Next Friday when you get here, students will have a printed copy of the itinerary, a little stick it in your pocket kind of thing to take with you. You'll be getting an email from me, a link to the trip website. It's going to be a little blog. You'll be able to follow along. We'll post pictures and of people sleeping on the bus and drooling and all the fun stuff we're doing. But you'll be able to see what we're doing and follow us. It'll be kind of cool. So watch out for those emails. But unless you have any other questions, if you've got everything taken care of, you should be good to go. Anything else, Mr. Liddick or Mrs. English?
Do you know about medicine at all?
Oh, yes. Those of you, Mrs. English mentioned medicine. Those of you who have prescription medication, Friday when you get here, you'll have to come and meet Mrs. Webster. Where's Mrs. Webster? Mrs. Webster is going on the trip with us. She's a registered nurse. Thank you very much for what you're going to do. But you'll be turning in your prescription medication to Mrs. Webster. And so if it's prescribed by a doctor and you take it or your son or daughter takes it, it must be turned into Mrs. Webster. It has to be in a Ziploc baggie, sealed, and ready to go. If you take multiple prescription medication, each prescription has to be in a separate baggie, and you'll turn it into Mrs. Webster.
In its original container.
In its original container. So, yeah, no pill minders or things like that. You have to turn that into her. And then when you need to take your medication, this is important. The students, I think, are responsible. Mrs. Webster will be at breakfast every morning, and at lunch she'll be stationed. You'll be able to find her. The students must go to her. She will not come to them at breakfast time and knock on the door and say, here's your medicine. It doesn't, she thinks she can't handle it. There's too much to worry about for her to do that. So when it's time to take medication, you'll have to go find Mrs. Webster, and she will give that to you, and you'll be set. Now, the only policy that we have not 100% subscribed to is with Advil and over-the-counter things like that. If you have to, we are not collecting that. We are not collecting that. And students, if they have to have it, Mrs. Webster will have a bottle of that. And if you've signed on the back of your medical form that says, yes, we can give your son or daughter Tylenol or Advil or things like that, she will give it to you. Or if your child has it, they're welcome to take that and have it with them. Do not turn it in. Do not turn non-prescription medication into Mrs. Webster. But you'll need to put it in on Friday when you get here. It'll be your first order of business. If you have prescription medication, come give that to her in those separate baggies, and you'll be set. She'll write your name on the baggie, and so we know who it is. And she's got this great organizational process that just blows my mind away on all of that. And please realize that her job, she's going on the trip, but her job is to take care of us as much as she can medically. And she has a big job. Every time she dispenses medication, whether it's the prescription stuff or she gives your son or daughter Tylenol or something, she has to notate that, has to keep track of that. She has a big, big job. So help her out by making sure you go find her when it's time for you to take your medicine. And that'll be great. We're thankful that you're going on the trip with us. It saves us a lot of work, but it also gives us a sense of security that someone can make some medical decisions, that has some medical training. We're thankful for that.
What about inhalers?
Those are things you can keep on your personal, because you'll need those. But that's notated on the medical form. So if the inhaler gets lost and we have to call the pharmacy, we can take care of that. The inhaler stay on your person. Anything else? Oh yes.
We needed to take an inhaler.
That's what.
Oh, this one. Okay. You could do that.
Well, 7:10.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any questions? T-shirt sizes? Come on down. We'll get you filled in. Thank you much.
Let me turn off this recording here.